Snow White first reactions are here, and they are, of course, they're positive. Their shills are out in force, ladies and gentlemen. The shills are out in force. So funny. So bloody funny.
Disney is in full damage control mode, and it's painfully obvious. They went all out, hiring influencers to attend what they hyped up as a grand premiere. Except, plot twist, it wasn't even a real premiere. It was just a small, controlled screening meant to push their narrative. And guess who's leading the so-called first reactions? The very influencers Disney handpicked to be there. Talk about transparent. These influencers have been gushing over the film with such exaggerated enthusiasm that it's downright embarrassing. Their over-the-top praise reeks of desperation. You can practically smell how forced it all is. It's nothing more than pure, unfiltered cope. The reality is that Disney is terrified of backlash, and they're doing everything they can to drown out legitimate criticism. And if you need more proof that this whole situation is laughable, let's talk about the casting decision that has irony written all over it. The Hollywood Reporter recently spoke to Martin Kleba, the actor who voices Grumpy in this new adaptation of Snow White. Here's where it gets ridiculous. Kleba is actually a little person, yet instead of playing a dwarf in the film, he was only given a voice role. Why? Because Disney decided to go the full CGI route for the dwarves. Imagine being a dwarf actor, actually landing a role in a Snow White movie, only to find out you won't physically appear in the film because another dwarf actor pushed for CGI. Replacements. You can't make this stuff up. The decision is baffling, and it just adds to the long list of bizarre choices Disney has made for this film. And let's talk about this so-called premiere event. There was no big red carpet moment, no grand spectacle. Instead, it was a low-key screening at the El Capitan Theater, a small pre-party, and that's it. No massive Hollywood rollout. Why? Because Disney knows they have a problem on their hands. They know the backlash is coming, and they're trying to minimize the damage. But here's the best part. Their efforts aren't working. Audiences aren't buying it. Every bit of this is a desperate attempt to control the narrative. And what's even funnier, the influencers they brought in to push positive reactions are so obvious about it that it's backfiring. People can see right through the PR spin, and it's only making Disney look worse. Then there's Rachel Zegler. Disney is trying to sell her performance as magical, but is it really? Or is this just another case of manufactured hype? Hollywood has a long history of pushing actors they want audiences to like, regardless of whether the public actually connects with them. At the end of the day, this is just another example of a studio scrambling to salvage a film that's already been tainted by controversy. The fake hype, the questionable casting choices, the controlled marketing, it's all adding up to one thing. Disney is panicking. And honestly, it's hilarious to watch.
Rachel Zegler is a shining supernova in Snow White, beautifully embodied in the graceful, gentle nature of the OG Disney princess. It's a visual feast with show-stopping new musical numbers, and of course, dozens of enchanting animated animals.
Disney's latest so-called live-action remake is turning out to be anything but. Has no one realized that this movie is basically all animation? It's a CGI-heavy production wrapped in a marketing campaign that insists it's live action. And yet, the so-called first reactions are hyping it up as a groundbreaking retelling, claiming the screenplay wisely gives Snow White newfound depth by making her obsessed with leadership. Because, of course, fairy tales can't exist without modern messaging crammed into them. And the love story? They call it sweet as apple pie. Sure, this is cope. All of it is cope. But wait, it gets better. Rachel Zegler supposedly stuns as Snow White with a vocal range crafted by the gods. Pause for laughter. Apparently, she radiates magic, charm, and beauty in this completely unnecessary reimagining of Disney's 1937 classic. And Gal Gadot? She's playing a cartoonishly exaggerated evil queen because that's exactly what we needed, right? Now let's talk about the dwarfs, if you can even call them that. Have you seen them? They're nightmare fuel, straight out of someone's fever dream, not a beloved Disney classic. Yet somehow, these reviews claim that Dopey's relationship with Snow White is a beautiful exploration of heroism. What even is this movie? Critics are hyping up the visuals, which, conveniently, aren't even in the trailers, calling it one of Disney's strongest retellings yet. Meanwhile, someone couldn't even spell crowd pleaser correctly. Is crude pleaser the new standard? Disney really isn't sending their best. Despite all this, some people are out here saying Snow White is actually quite charming. Oh, really? They claim the message lands well, the animals are adorable, and Rachel's voice is stunning. So stunning it almost made them cry. But they've never cried before. Sure, okay. Then there's this gem. Snow White is pure Disney. Magic. This will end up being a lot of people's favorite live-action remake. Oh, please. A joyous premiere, a delightful film, and now they're calling it a perfect musical. Listen, I love a good Disney classic, but let's not pretend this isn't being shoved down our throats by a PR machine running on overdrive. And now, let's dive into more reactions. This just keeps getting better. The musical numbers are apparently bangers, especially the Queen's so-called evil bop. Rachel Zegler is amazing, Gal Gadot is fun, but the real problem, the CGI dwarfs. Because of course they look terrifying. And who do we have to thank for that? Baffling decision? Oh yeah, Peter Dinklage. Cheers, mate. And now for the biggest shocker of 2025. Drumroll, please. The most controversial, most hated film of the year is actually being called decent. But wait, they're also claiming it's one of the best live-action remakes in years. It's not even live-action. This thing was filmed entirely on a soundstage, so let's not pretend we're witnessing something revolutionary here. Yet somehow, they claim it recaptures the magic of the 1937 movie. Does it, though? Rachel Zegler is apparently the most magical Snow White ever. Eye roll. The musical numbers are unforgettable. And the visuals? Let's just say the uncanny dwarfs prove that someone is lying when they call them cute. Aaron. Ceda Wilson's script supposedly adds depth to a world no one asked for. And isn't it just wild that after 2 years of this movie being an internet punching bag, suddenly every review is glowing? Yeah, whatever. And can we talk about the obsession with Rachel Zegler? My God, people are falling over themselves to praise her like she single-handedly saved Disney from bankruptcy. And look at this. So grateful to be invited to see Snow White, a stunning, magical movie deeply infused with hope. Read sarcastically. Yep. And apparently, Rachel Zegler's outstanding performance places this film right at the top of Disney's live-action lineup. Bursts out laughing. No, mate, just no. This is 100% cope. And before anyone starts going, oh, you're the one coping. No, I'm really not. See, here's the thing. Disney has a long history of handpicking people to shill for them. So yeah, I think we can safely say this movie is probably absolute trash. But whatever, right? Anyway, I want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.